Oh, you got caught in 4K. You got caught in 4K. Damn.
If I could take you up in tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream. Plans would come true. Spend my whole life loving you. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello again. Shaboom and hoping we meet again.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another You Live, You Learn podcast. My name is Matthew. I am your host and the creator of this here podcast. I am here joined by none other than co-host, my cousin, Mr. IG Gaming 27, aka Isaac. What's going on, my brother? How you doing?
Much, bro.
You doing good?
Doing good, bro. Doing
chilling?
good. Yeah, I'm chilling.
You nervous?
A little bit, but
I'm a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like this is the first time I'm recording, dude.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, we should be used to doing all this, but honestly, guys, even me as a streamer, like who streams on Twitch, I still get nervous every single time before I press that go live button. I still get nervous.
Dude, I'm nervous. I don't know why. I just
I'm pretty sure every other streamer can agree as well, but it gets you sometimes, and they look all comfortable and all that, but I'm pretty sure if you ask any other streamer, they say I get nervous every single time, and that's how we feel right now. But as soon as we get the flow, we'll get into it. Yeah.
Well, as you mentioned, as soon as we get into it, we'll hopefully, I didn't even know how to start this. You know what I mean? Like that's the weird thing, but it's all good. So for today's episode, we got a couple of good things we're gonna go ahead and talk about. For instance, I know a lot of you guys have seen the logo change, so I want to make an announcement real quick for that. So we'll go ahead and start with that, and then of course we'll go ahead and talk about what is the title of today's episode, which is communication, the key to good communication. We'll dive in a little bit about that, and then after that, we'll just go ahead and wrap it up with some ideal questions, because we do got the holidays coming up. We got Thanksgiving coming up, which is right around the corner. We got Christmas coming up. We got New Year's coming up. All good things for us to talk about, since we're only 2 months now away from the end of 2024, which, by the way, is pretty incredible to me. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about. This year has gone by way too quickly, man, in my opinion. And it's just been, overall, I feel like it's been a pretty good year. Aside from sports, though, it's been a pretty good year. I say that because, like, a whole bunch of my non-favorite sports teams won their championships, so.
I feel that. No, yeah, for me, the beginning of 2024 was kind of rough. But after that little bump in my life,
Bump in the road.
Yeah, after that little bump, it was better for me. Everything started going and following through, and I was just like, to this point, I'm blessed, man. Because, well, I'm gonna explain to you guys what happened, not in detail fully, because I don't feel comfortable just yet, but. In the beginning of 2024, a week before my birthday, I got fired from my previous job. It was my fault. I did something that I shouldn't have done. It was very immature of me, and the result, I got let go. I got fired, and I was jobless for about a month or two. And then I finally found a job. I was able to get this job through my mom. My mom, she sent me the job posting. And what I do now, I am a substitute. And right now, I'm currently a long-term substitute for Manteca High School. And that's what I've been doing this whole time. And I'm enjoying it. I love it. And not only that, but I recently just got a new car as well, because my previous car had broke down, and it was bad. I was just on the side, on the freeway, on the side. It was bad. So ouch. That happened, and I didn't have a car for a week or two, and then I was blessed, man. I never thought I would get me a car that I have right now, which is a Tesla Model 3. I told him, that's my dream car. Like, like it didn't have to be like a certain model. I just wanted a Tesla. That was my dream car, and I never thought I would ever, be able to get it at a young age. Like I'm 22 and I'm driving a Tesla, which to this day I still really can't believe it, because I just feel like I'm living in a dream that I don't know how to explain it. I'm just very happy, and I've now owned the car for a month now, and it's amazing. It's so smooth. It saves me a lot of gas, and at least gas money. You can't put gas in that car.
Yeah,
but it saved me a lot of money, and I'm happy because my cousin, he lets me charge my car sometimes at his house.
He's currently doing that right now.
I'm doing that right now because
he's currently doing that right now.
He also has an electric car, so he has a charger here at the house. But other than that, that's to this day. That's my life right now, and I feel blessed.
Yeah, that's good, man. No, that's good, and I'm glad all these good things have come to your life now, and I mean, I know all the struggles, that you've gone through over these past few years, especially what was from 2020 to now. I mean, you've gone through so much, so I'm glad to hear all these great things that are happening to you, which is why I wanted to make this quick announcement. So this past time, what I've been doing as well, I've been doing a lot of what I believe is creative work. I've been doing a lot of changes, for instance, the podcast. So just recently, I changed the logo of this year's podcast. If you guys have not seen it already, the cover art, as you guys can tell in the background, you guys can tell, we have officially changed the logo to the podcast. Simply, the reason behind it was, one of the reasons was, first of all, I wanted to include my cousin. I feel like my cousin has really helped out a lot, and he has just been there for me for a whole bunch of times whenever I needed them the most, and he's really helped out a lot. So I figured, to return the favor, I wanted to create a logo that has sort of his touch as well as mine. So if you guys have a moment, or anytime, when you guys do have a moment, if you guys look deeply within the logo, the new logo that we have, it's actually a bear, which symbolics my cousin's Twitch career, his whole ideal, and his whole ideology of who he represents and what he is. He's always had this joke for him being, just a big teddy bear, right?
Yep.
So that's what he's always called himself, because he is really, just look at him. He's really just, he's just a bear. You can freaking cuddle with him. So that's kind of behind the bear. Yeah, hey, ladies. I mean, if y'all looking for a little cuddle bear, he's right here. But yeah, so that's kind of the implication of the bear, and then of course the concha, which is me, because I love Mexican bread. I love conchas. I love sweet bread. All that stuff. It's just to die for. Especially now, which is the winter season. Which my god, conchas with some chocolate, abuelita, bro. Oh my god, with your cuddle blanket, with your animal blanket, bro.
Oh my god, watching some Christmas movies.
Oh my god, next to the fire, bro. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, so that's kind of the implication of the whole bear and the bread. And then of course I wanted to still keep it with the whole old logo with the You Live and Learn podcast, the white one. So I decided to keep the vintage microphone, so which is why we have that. So it took me a while to get to the to what I wanted, but I was able to do it, and so for that reason, I kind of chose that. And then I wanted some different color schemes. I feel like white and black was just too basic. I feel like it was just too a lot. I feel like when you think of a logo, you think of something colorful, right? You think of something, something that has just multiple color schemes, multiple patterns, something like that, something that actually captures the people's attention. So which is why I wanted something different. Alongside, of course, like I said, implicating my cousin, Mr. IG, I wanted to do something, different, basically. So that's how I came to be with this brand new logo. Hopefully, you guys, and like it as well as much as I do. I know, you like it as well. So hope you guys, enjoy it as much as we do. I mean, it was kind of a struggle trying to get to that point, some here and there, making sure that, it wasn't something that was already made or something, that people had already copyrighted. So hopefully I don't get into some legal trouble. I mean, I don't think so. I made it all, by using the creative mindset myself, of course. So yeah, so I mean that's kind of the desire of wanting to change the logo. And then, of course, aside from making any logo changes, or aside from making the creative changes, such as the concept art, I've been in this deep rabbit hole of what exactly I want to do with this podcast. So I've been looking at a lot of podcasts and a lot of shows, a lot of talk shows, a lot of TV shows, you know, a lot of these sort of shows that basically just have this implementation, like this, trying to include what is talking, right? What is trying to do an interview, kind of like what we're doing right now. And I just been on the fence on what exactly this podcast is. I'm not sure if I want to go with the TV show route or the actual podcast route, because obviously, you know, those are two very distinctive things. You see, TV shows, they're more, or what is talk show, sorry, they're more radio and slash televised shows, right? So those are the type of shows that you hear on the radio or that you see on the TV, and they don't necessarily focus on one particular topic. They don't necessarily, you know, talk about one specific thing, and they jump from topic to topic to topic, which is kind of what I'm doing right now, right? Which is kind of what we're doing. So, and aside from that, they are mainly just single sessions that can take hours long. They could take, you know, a whole, like, it's basically almost a 24/7 kind of talk show, right? So it's like a 9 to 5 job. You can be there from, you know, talking about from this and take a whole hour about it and talk about, you know, different thing, and basically, you know, that's kind of how it goes on. And then talk shows, of course, they're all recorded live. You know, what is radio shows and talk shows are all recorded live. So like when I talk about talk shows and you know, I talk about radio stations like 99.7 or Jimmy Fallon, you know, Jimmy Kimmel, what's his name, James Gordon, I think. I forgot his name. So, you know, hosts like those are all talk shows. Those are all radio based. Those are all live based, you know, shows. And I kind of wanted to do that at first until, you know, I've been skeptical because I'm afraid of, like, it has its ups and its downs. You know, the ups are basically just like, it's all very more interactive based. You know, all what is the information, you know, it's all up to date based information, you know, current news, kind of like that type of thing, which is kind of like, I feel like cool when it comes to creating a community. I feel like when it comes to, you know, connecting with people, you're kind of have to like create a base, you know, type of platform. And so, but the thing is with the downs is that there's things that could go wrong. You know, I myself already have problems with trying to, you know, get the right audio equipment, get the right camera equipment, get the right, you know, this and that. Basically, almost not necessarily be perfect, but at least be organized and be, you know, right on top of with my things. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the downsides of what is live performances or live talk shows. You know, it's kind of like things could easily go wrong, and it's gonna be hard to, you know, pick it up. You know what I mean? So that's that's talk shows. Podcasts obviously are the opposite. Podcasts are more episodic shows. They produce episodes, which is kind of like what you know, like I said, kind of what we also do. You know, this is literally episode number 13 that we're doing right now. Except the problem with this is that it's not live based. It's not, you know, it's not, I don't have information. I have information, but it's not up to date, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, unlike talk shows where they talk about things that are happening right now, these, for a podcast, you have to have more information that kind of leads up to the date. But even if, like, for instance, you don't have the time to edit it or whatever, or you didn't post it on this certain date, it wouldn't affect you as much. You know what I mean? So for instance, right now, we're currently recording this on a Friday, right? But there is a possibility, which I hope not, but there is a possibility that I might not be able to post this today on Friday, and instead I might have to post it tomorrow. But I know that the information that we talk about in this episode right now, you know, is information that I know cannot affect me later. You know what I mean? That I know that if I post it at any time, I can, you know, not have to worry about the information that I say, or I don't have to cut out information. I don't have to, you know, do this or do that, and do any sort of, you know, editing that might affect it. You know what I mean? I know that whatever we talk about is basically stuff, you know, that's sort of up to date. You know what I mean? Sort of the information that I can actually produce out there that won't affect anything. So that's the thing. That's the thing about podcasts. And of course, you know, these type of shows, they, you know, like if we take certain examples, you know, for instance, Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan show, you got, you know, the Ben Shapiro show, the Charlie Kick show, you know, all these other shows that are strictly podcast based because they have information that, you know, are not necessarily up to date, but also, you know, information that can be talked about at any given time. You know what I mean? So that's where I've been like with this podcast right now. I'm not sure if I want to go the talk show route, which does mean I would have to produce it live, or do podcast based but would have to produce it, you know, more recording. I'm on the fence with it because I don't know the type of community that I want to have. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I can go either or route, but you know, because I'm just starting, it's hard to, you know, do that right now. You know what I mean? I think a lot of, like, for instance, I look at Pat McAfee, who is, you know, used to be a football player, used to be a kicker. He currently has his own live show. It's called the Pat McAfee Show. His is actually live based. His is live. He streams it on Twitch, YouTube, and even TikTok. And I think that's smart, you know, recording on multiple platforms to try to connect to a whole bunch of different people. But because his is live, he has a better connection with people. And because it is live, he has to have information that is up to date. That's now, you know what I mean? And I think the cool thing about his shows is that, I mean, he has more connections, right? He has more connections with people who actually have information that, for instance, Adam Schefter, I think is his name. The dude I think he works for ESPN. He always gives the news about players who are, you know, injured or, you know, hurt or, you know, things like that, or because he's the first one to get it. He's the first one to get those type of information. So essentially, like, for instance, he was on the Pat McAfee show not too long ago, and he got a notification live about a certain player or about a certain team, and he actually announced it then and there.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So that's the cool thing about it, because people can get the actual, you know, information live, whereas, like, for instance, episodes of podcasts, it's kind of like you have to wait for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I see.
it's I don't know. I genuinely don't know what route to take, because both are good routes. But, you know, you can't do both technically. You can, but you would have to have way more, you know, knowledge and way more, like, experience. You have to make sure all your information is up to date, you know, things like that. Change your, you know, like, for instance, I can do my notes, like for instance, I finished my notes this past Wednesday, but because we're not shooting this until today, which is Friday, you know, then basically, you know what I mean? I would have to check, like, every day to make sure that my information stays up to date. Like, for instance, I forgot to include the Latin Grammys, which is this past Thursday. But I didn't think it was something necessary.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, it wasn't that. It wasn't all that. I
didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
I seen it. It wasn't all that. Dude.
No offense to the Latin Grammys, of course. We would love to be invited one day, but you know.
Yeah, Requinto Dorado right here.
Hey, Requinto Dorado would love to be a part of the Latin Grammys. I mean, we would love to be nominated for anything that you guys have. So, hey.
Hey, congratulations, everybody, but I don't know.
You guys got to make the shows a little bit more interactive. You know what I mean?
This year's was mid, man.
It was okay. It was
MTV
right.
Awards.
Those ones were cool, and Latin Billboard Awards.
Oh yeah,
those ones were pretty cool too. I like those. But yeah, so, like, for instance, that's what I'm saying. Like, my information's not technically up to date, but it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can genuinely edit this podcast, this episode, I mean, and I think I would be comfortable posting it tomorrow. Not necessarily today, but tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because I know that the information that we're going to be talking about is information that, you know, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be good. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of like what I've been dealing with right now. That's kind of like the whole, you know, aside from my teeth, of course, which, by the way, I do have an appointment coming up in about a week or so. On November 20th, I have an appointment scheduled to finally get my teeth removed, because I'm currently in the process of getting implants. So, if you guys do not know what happened to me, be sure to check out the previous episode titled I Was in an Accident. I believe it was episode 12, my recent episode. And I go into pretty descriptive detail about exactly what happened, and you guys will have a more understanding of what exactly happened to me. I'm currently doing okay. I feel much better. Obviously, I'm talking way more. I'm talking normal as I normally do. It's just obviously I have the lisp going on right now, but I don't think it's very noticeable. I don't think it's not too noticeable. I think if you really pay attention to my dialogue, it's kind of noticeable, but not necessarily. You know what I mean? I mean, have you noticed any of my lisp lately?
Every once in a while, but to this point, I got used to it.
Yeah, you kind of do.
I got used to it because I'm always with this guy.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
we're one right now.
We're one.
Yeah,
So
one for all and all for one.
At first, I did notice it a lot, but after spending time with him every other day, you get used to it.
It is a difference. You can totally tell that. Like if you were to grab a video of me before my accident, and how the way I was talking and compared to it now, you can totally tell the difference.
Yeah,
you can tell the difference. But like he's mentioned, you kind of get used to it and you don't necessarily really hear it. So it's like,
Wait, have you been able to sing?
Sort of. I have, but Spanish songs, it's kind of hard because there's a lot of S's. There's a lot. Like right now, I say the word S, and you can hear it. S. It sounds like I'm just saying it normally S. But you can kind of hear the whole, because the wind obviously, goes through your nose or through your teeth. So, I've been singing more of the English songs though. The English songs, I think I haven't. Those are nailed down because English is like way easier to talk. You know what I mean? It's way easier to talk. So, it's just I've been doing more English songs. I've been trying to do a little bit of the Spanish songs, but I let Brandon do all that stuff. Because I feel like he's just, he can do it. He can definitely do it. I know he can do it, but it's all a matter of practice. It's a matter of practice, and it's a matter of getting it down. But with that said, though, that actually helps me move on to the next topic. Speaking of dialogue, speaking of what is communication, I think it's time that we finally dive into the topic of the day, which is the key to good communication. Now, you've taken a class called Introduction to Mass Communication, right? So you have a very broad understanding of what is communication, right? So as a person who has taken the class and who has a more understanding of what is communication and what you remember, what is the point of having good communication? Like why is it important to have good communication?
Having that good communication makes you makes you look more professional out in the real world, and it makes you look like you know what you're talking about. Because in the class that I took in college, it was all at first it was dealing with the nerves, because I know some people get nervous when speaking, but what it is really, once you get the hang of everything, the reason why, and this is what my professor said, I'm not sure if it's really true, but the reason why people get nervous is because they don't know the information they're talking about fully. But once you get information that you know fully, you get less nervous and you know more of what you're talking about, because you've already studied what you're going to be talking about and you know the information. So that's what I've learned in my communications class. So whenever you're speaking in public, make sure you know your information and you know what you're speaking about, because not one, it'll people will believe what you're saying, but two, it would make you as a person less nervous because you know what you're talking about. So as an example, my professor gave us an assignment to talk about what we're most passionate about or what we know more about, and I chose to do Marvel, and we only had 5 minutes to present, and this assignment that we had to do was our very last assignment because he wanted to compare our previous communication assignments to our last one, because the other ones we had to look for information and get it down and speak on it, and those previous ones we like when I mean we is everybody in the class was nervous. They weren't 100% like knowing what they were talking about, and he recorded all of our communication classes, or the when we had to present our presentations. And when it came to our last one, when we talked about the stuff that we actually know about, he also recorded the presentations and he compared both of them. And he told us, you guys see when you guys know your information, you are less nervous and you know what you're talking about because you're very passionate about that and you know what it is. Where it's like you look for information on another topic that you don't really know and you don't know what you're really talking about, and you get all nervous and you start speaking really fast and you're moving a lot and you're doing all this and that, and that really opened my eyes on what communication really is and how to really understand it. So when I was looking at my first presentation on, I forgot what subject it was, I had a lot of stops, a lot of pauses, and I was just like very nervous. You can see in the video. I don't have the video. He never sent it to us, but you can really see how nervous I was. And then compared to the last one, I was like, getting facts on facts and then speaking like normally, and it was nice to see, how all that really is. So that's my understanding of what communications really is knowing the facts that you're talking about and how you present it, because how you present it also looks it looks like how could I say it? It's like when you know how to present it, it makes you look like you know what you're talking about.
Like a professional.
Like a professional.
Like how we are right now.
Like how we are, Holmes.
Exactly. Well, that's kind of funny that you say all that stuff, because you basically answered my next question that I was going to ask you, was exactly how exactly can we improve our communication. And from my standpoint, or from my POV, is basically, I mean, the point of having good communication, from what I understand, and this is coming from a person who hasn't taken mass communication, but who understands that communication is important, especially when it comes to this type of platforms, basically this type of things, because communication is very the key to these type of things. So the point of having good communication is to basically bring about understanding in all aspects of life. So I'm talking about relationships, I'm talking about friendships, family values, a whole bunch of these other things, having that connection with your community, which is exactly what I'm trying to do, having that connections with people, connections with you, obviously. So that's the point of having good communication. That's why it is important to have good communication, to bring about understanding. Now, I actually did some research. Now, according to this report at Stevenson University, it actually says that by delivering messages clearly, there is no room for misunderstanding or alteration of messages, which decreases the potential for conflict. In situations where conflict does arise, effective communication is a key factor to ensure that the situation is resolved in a respectful manner.
And see, that brings up the point that I talked about. When you know your information, you sound not only like professional, but you sound like you know what you're talking about, because you did the research to know and speak about that certain topic.
Exactly. I feel, well, I mean, even then, I mean, like for me, I have to do research. This, yeah, you know, I have to, with this type of thing, you kind of have to do research. So that's why I decided to do research upon this. Now, going on to how can we improve our communication, from my POV, I feel like it's more of, to improve communication, you kind of have to make those connections with the people. Like, you cannot improve your communication if you don't actually do the, the action part.
You have to step out of that comfort zone. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of you guys have heard that from, I don't know, either a teacher or a friend or somebody in your life, but everybody has heard, you know, get out of your comfort zone at some point in their life.
Yeah.
And once you do, hey, trust me guys, I growing up was very introverted. I had a small group of friends. I only had like 3 friends, and when I was probably like, I don't know, 6th, 7th grade, I told myself I was gonna get out of my comfort zone, and I was gonna go out there, be more social, and make more friends. And as soon as I did that, you know, it carried on to high school, and I was able to make a lot of friends. I was able to do presentations like with ease. I was able to do a whole bunch of things, do sports, you know. And let me tell you guys,
It was-
once you guys step out of your comfort zone,
It's
it's
life changing.
it's life changing because
You make good connections.
you make good connections and
Make friends. Make
good
life
friends,
moments.
and a lot of, you know, fun moments and memories. Because I did that in high school and I won homecoming king. So
I did it. I went homecoming. This guy. Well, you know what I won, bruh?
what, bro?
I want a cookie. All right. Yeah. No, but actually, adding on to that, to what you just said, which is basically it's overtaking anxiety over, over what is, overtaking that feeling of anxiety. So I actually watched a video recently from the Stanford Graduate School of Business. This guy who teaches what is communication in business, I forgot his name, the professor's name, but he actually goes on to talk about, what is the fears when it comes to public speaking and how to overcome, what is the feeling of anxiety, what exactly how to address the public, how to, speak upon certain things, kind of like what exactly to bring to the table when it comes to needing that sort of communication value. So, and he said that when it comes to overtaking the feeling of anxiety, the best way to overcome the anxiety is by acknowledging it. He said that there's no, it's not that there is no way to getting rid of anxiety, because anxiety is an emotion that everybody has. It's just that some people have more control over it than others, right? Everybody's different. But the best way to take control of the anxiety, according to this guy, is by acknowledging it. Simply just being like, oh, like, okay, I'm feeling this certain way. I'm feeling nervous, which is why, like, for instance, going back to the beginning of this episode here, we said that we were both nervous slightly, even if it was just, not much, it was still slightly, but it's because, it's normal to feel this kind of, normal to feel this kind of feeling. Yeah. Normal to feel nervous. It's normal to feel anxious. It's normal because you don't want, I think the biggest fear for everybody is just having that fear of being judged, right? So it's normal to feel all these type of ways, but simply the best way to overcome it is by acknowledging it. Be like, okay, I'm feeling this way. It is what it is, but I'm going to do my absolute best to overcome it and just let out what needs to be let out. You know what I mean? Say what I need to say, even if it doesn't sound right. It's better to say something than to stay quiet. Yeah, that's what I've always said. It's better to say something than to stay quiet, because staying quiet solves absolutely nothing. If there's something you want to implicate or something you want to add on, it's important to say it. Even if it's something on the opposite end of the spectrum, it's still something that that should be said. If regardless if it's something completely off topic, completely different, completely that has nothing to relate with the topic, it's still important to say what is that needs to be said. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I actually been doing my research on this sort of topic simply because I feel like when it comes to communicating, I feel like it's gonna take a huge part of my life. That is if I want to, which I do, by the way. And now that I'm out of high school, I do kind of want to continue with this podcast and continue to evolve in it and continue to progress in this sort of establishment, this sort of entertainment, platform, because I feel like it's really awesome for me to. I grew up not having necessarily a voice. When I say that, I mean I didn't choose to speak out on certain things simply because I was afraid to be judged, or I was afraid to, be a disappointment to certain people. I didn't want to, people to look at me in any different way. But ever since I overcame that, that sort of feeling, I really have. At least I feel like I've come a long way when it comes to opening up about certain things and opening about, the way I feel about certain things and certain topics. I try to keep some things to myself, but when it comes to like important topics, I feel like it's important to, to speak upon it, just because it's like I said, going back to it, it's better to say something than to stay quiet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then I guess the final question to this sort of topic is, how exactly can our voices be heard? What sort of what like we talk a lot about what it is to improve communication, but how can we take that communication and share it with the world? You know what I mean? Like my ideal thing is social media. I feel like the best way to share voices is social media. I don't know about you if you have something, completely different.
Nah, that's probably the only way because
That's
everybody
right now it is.
everybody's on
Right
social
now it
media,
is.
you
Social
know?
media right now it is. So for instance, like TikTok right now, which I think is the biggest platform aside from what is Instagram and Snapchat, I feel like those are the biggest, platforms right now that people use to share all their ideas and all their, what is trends, right now that's going on in the world. So I think like using social media platforms like TikTok and even Twitter, which is now so called X, um, yeah, I think is like I think Twitter is probably a bigger platform right now because I feel like Twitter's just been around longer than when at least when it comes to sharing a voice.
Yeah.
When it comes to sharing a voice, I feel like Twitter right now is the biggest thing because I feel like Twitter has been longer. I call it Twitter. I don't want to call it X because I feel like X is just weird, so I call it Twitter now. So Twitter, I feel like it's just because it's been around longer. It's just I feel like it has a better, it's a better platform basically to voice out opinions and voice out
Yeah.
the facts basically. Are you crying?
No.
Allergies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's okay, bro. It's okay. I still love you.
Love you too.
Yeah, but with that said, that's kind of all I have for now about what is communicating and communication. So let's take that communication, everything that we said, and use that to talk about this next topic. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, we do got some holidays coming up. And I just want to, kind of get into festivities, you know what I mean? So, of course, we got Thanksgiving coming up first before Christmas. So, I wanted to ask you, what are you thankful for this year?
Honestly, just everybody in my life right now, my family, my friends. It's been a hard year, but I'm grateful for all of them for being by my side and always pushing me to go forward. I'm about to cry. Low key, I feel a tear coming.
It's okay, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Yeah, that's good. Me too. I think for me, I'm thankful for a lot of things. I mean, I'm thankful for obviously, first and foremost,
Special shout out, my bestie. You know who you are. Love you. Go ahead, bro. Huh?
No, yeah. So I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful. I mean, first and foremost, I gotta thank God, for giving me this life that I have now. Thankful for all the things that He's given me. Thankful for my lovely girlfriend, of course. She's been great. She's been doing her own thing. And thankful for my family, of course. They're my number one priority. They're the reason why I do things. The reason why I want to pursue my career, when I want to pursue all these type of things. So, like I said, and when I mean family, I mean you, of course, as well. You are my family. You're my cousin, obviously. So, so no, yeah. And I'm just, I mean, like I said, it's still crazy for me to think that 2024 is about to be over. That's, I think, crazy for me right now. So, but yeah, and then like I said, of course, we got Thanksgiving coming up, and then after that, it's Christmas. So, what are you looking for Christmas? I mean, is there anything in particular that you want that I could possibly get you?
I don't really know. I don't know, cause usually Christmas for me, it's. I'm not trying to be negative and all that. It's just it's been ruined for me last year, and it's honestly I haven't really thought about what I wanted. I'm not sure. Just
You're still thinking, but it's too early for you.
yeah, but it's just there was an incident that happened last year, and it's just whenever I think of Christmas, it brings that up, and it ruins it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I mean, hopefully, maybe this year we can bring some jolly into your life. How about that?
Hopefully, bro.
Hopefully, I'll do it. I got you, cousin. I got you, brother. Don't worry. I'll bring some of that, mommy milkers.
Hey, relax.
Anyways, but yeah. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up for today's episode. Any last sort of piece of advice that you want to give to the people before we end today's episode? Anything you want to tell the people? Because I mean, we always do it, man. We always, gotta give them that little takeaway for people to acknowledge.
Honestly, with holidays coming up, be grateful for what you have, because unfortunately there is people out there who don't have what we or you have, So just be grateful and just give thanks to God every day for letting you wake up and live your life.
Amen, brother. Amen. I think if I were to give people one takeaway, I think with the upcoming holidays, it's mainly just, aside from, be grateful for the things you got, but also, just do your best to make, these memorable moments. Take advantage of these times right now that we have, these holidays, because the holidays are meant to be, spent with family. And of course, we got to give, our moments for those that are not here with us, of course. So it's just embracing those, that you have around and tell them that you love them. Tell them that you love them, you know what I mean? And make those moments with them, just like how I'm making my moments with you, buddy. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up for the day. That's all I got for me for today. So you got anything else you want to talk about real quick before we wrap it up or no?
Yeah, nothing, man.
No?
That's pretty much it.
I just want to make sure, just because, don't want to leave anything out. You know what I mean?
Well,
you good?
Good, yeah.
Sweet. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been You Live, You Learn podcast. My name is Matthew. This is my cousin IG. If you guys want to catch him on Twitch, it's Mr. IG Gaming 27, right? I mean, you're streaming now more.
Yeah, I'm getting back into my regular schedule.
Yes, sir.
Because I finally got done with coaching football.
There you go.
And don't need to represent, but
oh my god.
That's a team right there. That's a team.
You do realize you're betraying EU, right? Oh, you got caught in 4K. You got caught in 4K. Damn.
Podcast, bro. I'm out of here, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been You Live, You Learn podcast. I appreciate all you guys tuning in today's episode, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya. You got caught.